Gordon Brown has had an extraordinary life. This is a man who has seen intense tragedy and enjoyed incredible success.
Well, Pierre's a bit tough, isn't he? He does ask pretty direct questions. He'll throw it at you, and then you've got to respond.
If he thinks I'm going to come bearing sweeties, then he's in for a bit of a surprise.
I've never done something like this, so I suppose I'm quite nervous.
He's about to face the biggest challenge of his career. So it's a perfect time to sit down and find out what really makes him tick. Prime Minister, the point of this series is that I interview celebrities, you know, interesting people who've had interesting lives. It doesn't get, for me, much bigger than the serving Prime Minister. So I know why I'm here. Why are you here?
Well, first of all, call me Gordon, please, because
OK.
I think it's important that people know who you are. And I think it's important that people can ask any questions they like about you. I'm an open book as far as people are concerned of anything they want to know.
So I can literally ask you anything I like, can I?
You can.
You might regret saying that.
I don't know if I will or not. I'll tell you afterwards.
We asked, as a little exercise, Gordon, we asked some of the audience here, who seem on the face of it very nice people, but we asked them for one word to describe you before they came in today.
And you want me to say what I think it is?
Well, I'd like your reaction to each of these words, OK? I'm not asking you to guess, because I imagine if you guess, it would be handsome, charismatic, and so on. And it didn't go quite like that, Gordon.
No,
so I'm just going to hit you with these, OK? Grumpy.
No, but determined and strong-willed.
Come on, you've been grumpy.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't sort of behave like that. I want things done. I'm strong-willed. I want to get things done. So I get up in the morning and say, look, let's get this done. And if that sounds grumpy, well, I don't think so.
Knackered.
I've got very young children. I've got one child who never wants to go to sleep at night, and I've got one child who wakes up really early in the morning. So.
The next word was plonker.
Which part of the audience was that?
Where are you? Have you ever been a plonker?
Made mistakes, done stupid things? Yes. I've made lots of mistakes. And you're never going to do anything right unless you've actually done things that have taught you a lesson. And I've been taught many, many lessons. And, you know, the people are a great teacher. So if you do something wrong, people tell you pretty quickly.
Let's get to the last word, because this, in many ways, is the most truly shocking of all. Delectable.
No, that's Sarah.
Sarah hadn't arrived. A woman in this audience, when asked one word to describe you, Gordon, said delectable.
Well, that's very nice of her. Very... can you introduce me to her?
You have had, though, some unbelievably vicious things said about you.
I know, even by you sometimes.
Yeah, but not as bad as this. I mean, let's go through some of the things. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson called you a one-eyed Scottish idiot.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Clarkson is a conservative who's putting his views, and I think he may have apologised for that. I don't know, but I think people thought that was unfair.
But when you hear someone say that publicly, just to get a laugh.
Well, you know, it's Jeremy Clarkson, so you say that's that. I'm not going to get worked up about that. I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah, that's quite right. Vince Cable said that you had gone from Stalin into Mr. Bean. Which of those two did you find more offensive?
Stalin, if I may just point out, was responsible for terrorist outrages in Russia and ran his country without any democracy for years. So I'm not Stalin, but if you want someone,
some of his qualities.
If you want someone to be tough and strong-willed, yes, and sometimes people won't like that.
And what about Mr. Bean?
Didn't seem right at the time.
What's the minutiae of Downing Street life like? I mean, when you get up, is there like, 3,000 servants running in with your silver salver?
There are really three things happening there. One is their offices, so there's a lot of people, probably 200 people working in Downing Street. Then you've got the sort of official rooms where you've got meetings and everything else where people come to visit. So if a president comes, they visit you. And then at the same time, you've got the family. So you're actually staying in the place where you work. And one of the reasons I see my children much more than I ever did when I was Chancellor of the Exchequer is that I'm working in the same building where they're staying. And so they sort of, we had Nelson Mandela in, and suddenly Fraser and John sort of bounced into the meeting. We had President Karzai come from Afghanistan, and I think he was quite shocked when one of my children just walked in and demanded to be heard.
Every time I see your little one, Fraser, he looks at me and says, "I don't like you."
I can't say he's a good judge of personality.
I'm curious. People are curious. They have no idea what Downing Street life's like. I mean, do you have your own private loo as Prime Minister?
No.
Really?
No.
Well, who do you have to share it with?
The rest of the building.
Really? All of them?
Yes.
I don't know. I was slightly disappointed. I thought you'd have at least some... Must be some good perks. Come on. Private jets? I mean, do you get stuff
No,
like
you've got to do... Everything's got to be declared. If you get anything... If someone gives me a present, I just hand it back, and it's declared as a gift, and I don't have anything more to do with it.
You don't keep any of them?
No, we don't keep them. I don't keep them.
What's been the best present you weren't allowed to keep?
I think the different governments in the Middle East send huge presents. One actually, after a dinner, was a full pig that they actually sent that had been roasted.
Really?
And I couldn't accept it.
So you're in the top job, but life at the top is never easy. Gordon Brown. He runs the country and is one of the most famous men in Britain. But to many of us, he remains a complete mystery. So just who is the man behind the headlines?
He has a temper, that's true. He can go up, you know, in a whoosh, you know, if he's cross or if somebody's stopping him from doing something.
I know he's tough as a negotiator, but I also think a secret weapon with him is actually humour.
He's a man who loves his work, loves football, books, friends, loves people, and loves our family.
But the private man suffers in public, and it's all about presentation.
Gordon Brown is seen being kind of not quite comfortable in his own skin, socially gauche. When some famous person, or particularly their wives, come to Downing Street to visit, and he's meant to do the kind of air kissing on each cheek, I mean, he just doesn't get it.
And it's not just the wrong type of kissing. He's often at the wrong place at the wrong time.
He's not a man, in my view, who you can just spin for television.
His advisors have tried to get him to smile more, a strategy that hasn't always been successful.
He tries to look spontaneous. It doesn't work. He went on YouTube. Instead of smiling at the camera, he was gurning at the camera.
The problem was that he forgot he had to smile, then he remembered he had to smile, and he smiled in all the wrong places. You know, your uncle is dead. Smile.
They put him in these situations, and he cannot cope because he is not really built for the modern, telegenic, 24-hour media age in the way that Blair, the great actor, certainly was.
Politicians are not meant to be slick salesmen. They're not meant to be, you know, smooth TV presenters. They're meant to be good at running the country.
Success comes in all shapes and sizes and different ways of doing things. And he is what he is. And my feeling is that he's always at his best when he's at his most authentic, actually.
What do you think, hearing all these people being so rude?
You know, if you want, as I think it was Tony or Peter Mandelson said, someone who's just slick and a salesman, that's one thing. I do think people want more depth. But I recognise that I'm not very good sometimes at presenting what I do. I don't take the care, perhaps, that I should have done in some of the ways I've said things. But deep down, I'm actually thinking about how we do things rather than how we say things. So I've got to get better. I've got to get better.
I mean, that YouTube clip was slightly awkward to watch it, wasn't it? When you watched it back, did you feel comfortable watching yourself? Because you were laughing in the wrong places.
I said after I did it, I don't think that's very good. And someone said, oh, that's really good. And I just thought, well, that's fine. I got it wrong.